set my world free. You set my world free. You set my world free. You set my world free. Yeah. Nothing can compare to. I set myself free. Nothing can compare to. Yeah. I found you in the YPG. You set my world free. I found you in the YPG. I found you in the YPG. You set my world free. I found you in the YPG. You set my world free, nothing can compare to this. You set my world free. Yeah, I set myself free, nothing can compare to this. I set myself free. Say I will not doubt myself, and I'll believe in myself in the YPG as I level up with every move. We'll take it to another level, another level, another. We're going to another level, another level, another level, another. I've been down before. Feel like a whole world just wants my phone. I've been trapped by what they see me for, but now I'm free, free to go. We'll take it to another level, another level, another level, another level, another. We're going to another level, another level, another level, another level, another level, another level, another. You set my world free, nothing can compare to this. You set my world free. Yeah, I set myself free, nothing can compare to this. I set myself free. Say I will not doubt myself, and I'll believe in myself in the YPG as I level up with every move.
What's good, Juge fam? I hope you're all doing wonderful on this Wednesday afternoon. And if you're not, I always say, you know the YPG fam's got your back. So at any given moment you feel like getting in touch, slide into our DMs, holler at us. You know that the YPG fam is here to take good care of you. Now today, I'm going to be sharing an interesting subject. We're going to be covering the subject of knowing two sides of a story. And how does that affect your life? How does that affect my life? How does that affect life in general? And what does this have to do? What effect does this cause to our respective lives? So, how often have you found yourself in a situation in which you hear about something and your mind is made up based on what someone told you? So, somebody says to you a story, maybe sometimes, especially when we were kids. I mean, when you're a kid, the most common thing is to have to hear myths from our parents. At times we would hear stories which they would hear and they would believe in, and because they believed in it, they would pass that story on, or they heard it from their grandparents, well, from our grandparents or their grandparents and great grandparents, and the story goes on. And that story becomes a fact in our minds because we heard it from them, a credible source, our parents. Although they could have committed a mistake, the source of which they heard the story might have been a mistake. Now, what does this have to do with our lives? I'm going to tell you shortly. But when we look, for example, in the world of law, I don't know about you guys, but I'm fascinated by law. If I was not PJ, I can tell you I was going to be a lawyer. I am fascinated by law, especially criminal law. Shout out to one of our mentors, Itu, who's going to tell us a little bit about how important knowing both sides of a story, and how in the life, or rather in the life of a lawyer, she's a lawyer by the way, how in law you need to know both sides of the story. So I'm going to invite Itu. She's not here in the studio with us, but she has recorded this short video, and she's going to tell us a little bit about it. She's going to share with us how in law, both sides of the story, both parties have the right to speak and defend themselves, or also accuse someone, whether they're the plaintiff or the defendant. In law, everyone has the right to present their side of the story, the side of which one is accusing or the side in which they get to defend. And interesting is that even a criminal, a person might be the worst of worst criminal. He might have all the evidence proving that he's the one. He will still have an opportunity, a chance to be heard, to explain his side of the story. I'm going to hand it over to Itu, and she's going to tell us a little bit about it.
Hi everyone, my name is Itu Meleng and I'm here to talk about law in relation to two sides of the story. As you would know that in the legal fraternity we use a lot of Latin words, and the term for today would be audi alterum partem, which means two sides of the story. So as you would know it, when a person is accused of a crime, they are innocent till proven guilty. And that is why you would find a prosecution team and the defense team that has to do with hearing two sides of the story. The prosecution team has the onus of burden to prove beyond reasonable doubt that the person is guilty, and the defense team will then have to defend and argue out for getting that person an acquittal of the charges that have been brought forth. But it's never a straight up thing that a person is guilty and therefore they will do away with the person. No matter how guilty the person may be in front of you, in front of the press, whether there's a character assassination of that person in the media, they'll always be afforded an opportunity to tell their story. And according to the Constitution of South Africa and the Criminal Procedure Act 35(6), a person is entitled to a free and fair trial. So no matter how guilty they may look before your eyes, no matter how bad the criminal charges that are brought before the court, be it rape, be it murder, they will always be afforded an opportunity to say their side of the story. That's how the law works, and this is done entirely in the world. Hence we have the saying, innocent till proven guilty. That is known as the presumption of innocence. So there'll always be a chance for that person to be heard. And also the fact that in relation to law, you will have to prove the innocence of that person, and that lies with the defense team. But with the prosecution, they have to prove beyond reasonable doubt that they are guilty. But that also affords them an opportunity to tell their side of the story. It's not about what the media says. It's not about how their character has been assassinated. It's all about hearing both sides of the story. That is why the judge has to be impartial and fair, being able to discern who is correct, who has more proof, or rather facts to prove what that person has been accused of. So I hope it makes sense. No matter how bad the person might be in front of your eyes, but they'll still have to be afforded an opportunity to relay their story or recall how the actual events unfolded. And then it will be up to the judge if the evidence is sufficient to have them guilty or innocent. So that's the two sides of the story. Audi Atarum Patem.
Thank you so much, Itu, for sharing that insight with us. It's definitely enlightened us to the importance of, that's a life application in which we need to make a part of our lives listening to both sides of a story. Because today, for example, there's social media, there's just so much going on. Imagine you see the video of someone being beaten up. A group of men beating up one guy who at that moment looks vulnerable. Generally, our sentiments will go out to the one who's being beaten up. But oftentimes we don't know what he did to get that beating. Perhaps he committed a terrible offense, a terrible crime against those other ones beating them or their family members. Just giving an example. But the first reaction we will have will be the sentiment of pity, unless we know what's going on the other side. And it's very sad to know that we have a wide variety of sources, but oftentimes we're so blinded to hearing the truth we want to hear. We will hear someone say that this person committed a crime, this person did ABC, and we naturally believe that. We naturally give ears to what the media will tell us, the news will tell us, but we weren't there. Where does that source come from? Who really is the one telling us that this and this happened if that person says it didn't happen, or if we never heard the other side of the story? How many times did you hear from someone that you should stay away from that person? You should not befriend so-and-so. Be careful with that person. You know what? I don't trust so-and-so. I don't trust him because, there was a day in which he or she did this and did that, and you were like, you know what? I'm going to keep my distance from so-and-so because my friend told me this. But maybe your friend just had a bad experience with that person, and now because that's your friend, you're going to take what he or she said and make it a rule in your life. And this allows us, or makes us, to judge or take decisions based on the thoughts or the opinions of others. It leads us to think as others think and not think fair enough. We need to be very cautious with that. I know I've committed that mistake, and you probably did too, where I heard from someone about someone else until I was put in a situation where I had to get to know who this person truly is. I didn't have an option, but I had to figure out who this person really was. And I realized this person is actually a very nice person, a very pleasant person. But remember, I was listening to what my friend had said. I was listening to what someone had told me about this person. And because I had made up my mind based on one source, I didn't hear both sides of the story. The moment I heard the other side of the story, I realized, you know what, maybe that friend of mine or that person I heard from just didn't get along, didn't have a very good experience with this one here, but this person is like this. In life, we need to learn to be open-minded. That's what I'm trying to say to us. In life, we need to learn to have an open mind to hear what's actually going on. How many people go online on social media and they share their thoughts, they share their opinions, they share whatever they want, they speak whatever they want, they will say whatever they feel like saying. And we have the choice to, dive in, accept that thought, that opinion as a fact for our lives or not. We know very well that there are things something that is very common rather nowadays, fake news. How many times do we hear fake news? How many times do we hear that this and this happened, only to find out that it's actually fake news? I was watching an interesting docu the other day where somebody was investigating the reality behind the lives of many influencers. And obviously, as an influencer, I will show you what I want you to see. I'm not going to come on this live here and show you what I don't want. I'm going to show you what I want you to see, or rather in my case right now, literally what I believe you should learn. But make believe I'm an influencer. I'm not going to show to you what I don't want you to see. I'm going to show you what I want. So I'm going to come on the camera and I'm going to present myself well. I'm going to give the best of myself. So I'm going to wear branded clothes. You don't have to know that it's fake, but hey, as long as you think that I'm making money. There are cases of those, they call them the 5 a.m. club, of those who apparently they wake up 5 a.m. every morning, only to do the research that that person's not really waking up 5 a.m. This guy actually made an investigation based on where this influencer said he was waking up that morning, and he said 5 a.m. the sun isn't out yet in that place. I know that place very well, which means fake news. How many were caught where they would buy branded clothes, designer brand, and they would wear them for the video, for that so-called influence they wanted to produce, and then after the recording they return the clothes. 30-day policy, returning of the clothes, because hey, I don't have that money, but I need to make you see this side of my life. I don't see both sides. I don't want you to see both sides. I don't want you to see rather the reality. I want you to see the fake aspect of my lifestyle. And how many young people are misled. I was going to say led, but then I had to rephrase it. Misled by influencers, because the influencers will show you what they want you to see. An influencer is going to influence you with what he wants you to be influenced by. I hope that makes sense. He's going to influence you with, I want you to be influenced by what I'm going to share right now, to open your mind, to think with an open mind. That's what I'm trying to influence you. So this is what I want you to be influenced by, having an open mind. Actually, I want to influence you to not be influenced by others. That's basically what I'm trying to say. But moral of the story is, stop being such a one-minded person. One side of the story person. Imagine if in court a person is accused of something he didn't do, or pays the price for something he didn't do. Make believe he's being he's got a lawsuit, three counts against him, and he committed one crime, but the other two he never committed. Is it fair that he has to pay for the other two crimes, although he only committed one? Just an example. So in the court, he needs to be heard in order to be proven whether he's guilty or innocent, and what exactly is he guilty and innocent of. I'm sure you heard clearly what Itu mentioned. So our point here today is to say this to you. Don't ever be one-sided. Don't ever allow people to influence you the way they want to influence you. Always do your research. Even here in the Bible clock, on something extra, and in the Bible clock, or anything, any fact that we share with you, I'm always going to seek to give you facts, things which I'm going to research before. But I can also commit a mistake. I might say something, and oftentimes I will also say to you guys, please take this to the core when I say to you, that's my opinion. There will be moments where I'm going to share my opinion, my thoughts. I'm sharing it with you. That does not mean that there is a rule. I personally do not eat pumpkin. I personally don't eat beetroot. I'm sorry, but I can't stand those two veggies. But that's my opinion, because we all know that, on the other hand, I don't know about the benefits of pumpkin, but I know that beetroot is extremely important for our iron. I think even for our blood. But I know for iron and probably there are other things. But my opinion is like, get it elsewhere, because that thing tastes horrid. I can't. That is my opinion. That does not mean that anybody needs to listen to my opinion and follow through. Don't take what I say and use that as an argument. Do your research before you argue, believing everything I say. And anybody that says, even in church, you hear something, the Bible is the foundation of the Christian faith. Does that match with what we believe in, or is that the opinion of a human being? Even in the Bible, there are situations where the apostles will say, my opinion, this is me speaking as a man, not by the Spirit. So what is he trying to say? Both sides of the story. Be very cautious with this. Be cautious with the people you listen to, with the sources you take in. I see sometimes arguments left, right, and center where people will be arguing, and going on about it. There is a famous video, as I'm speaking, I'm going to let it show here, of everybody knows this famous footballer, Vinicius Jr. And as you can see, he is taking pictures with people, with these ladies, and then comes this guy. And as this guy comes, he pushes him away. Now, the fact is, as you see on the video, this guy, people were like, you see, he's arrogant, he's this and that. I have my thoughts about him, but that's not important right now. The point is that at this, in this specific incident, he did that because that was a friend of him joking. So he wanted to trick him into, I also want to take a picture with him, but that was just a friend of his who's always with him. So that's why he pushes him away. So it's not about him in this, at least not in this case, being arrogant or rude. It's just a matter of he was, get away from me. You know how, it's our friends. So a lot of people took this video, posted it online to cause that controversy, to get a lot of views, and say, look at how this footballer treats people. Look how he treats his fans. How can he treat people like this? How can he be like this? I don't believe it. How could he? Offer the arguments. And if you go in the comment section, you will see hundreds and thousands of different opinions and people saying that's not true, and another one. And in actual fact, that was just a friend of his. So those who actually know close sources revealed and showed that, no, this guy's just a friend of his and he was fooling around with him, and that's why he pushed him away. Goes back to saying, be extremely cautious with everything you see. So it's a video. No, but I saw him pushing the guy. Yeah, but he pushed the guy who's his friend. He was doing it because he was his friend. He's like, get away, dude. I'm doing this for the fans, in other words. But we choose whether we are going to be influenced by what people want to show us, or whether we are going to be people who are going to think first, research first, and listen to both sides of a story. I was having a chat the other day with a friend, and based on elections in a specific country, and he was against the one candidate and I was in favor of the other one. We were just chatting. I'm not into politics much, but we were just talking about this. And he's like, but this guy, this candidate, he did this and this and that and this and that and that and this and this and this and that. And people said, okay, and then I asked him one thing. Where's the source? Where's the source? Where is this been proven? Did he go to court? Was he given a chance to prove himself? Or whoever accused him of what they accused him, did they give him a chance to answer? I've seen cases where somebody will be interviewing a person. When that person is speaking, he's being interrupted. He's not being given a chance to speak. Or that person is just trying to push the agenda one side. No, we gave him a chance to speak, but you'll notice that the questions are already trying to put that person in the corner, because the media will want to show you what the media wants you to see. This is not only in the sense of media, but that's how life is, in anything. If I don't like someone, I will try to influence you to be away from that person because I want you close to me, if you know what I mean. Let's have an open mind. Let's do more research. And this is why, fam, we need to be more of the reading kind. You know, perhaps the time you spend on social media, you could actually add to learning something new. December holidays are just around the corner. Some of you guys are going to be doing nothing in December. Instead of you doing nothing, why don't you go get a job? Learn something new. When we are learning, when we are searching to know more, when we are researching to empower this here, opinions don't change what we learn. Opinions will not change what we learn, because we know that 1 + 1 is 1. This tells us that. Therefore, no one can change your opinion that 1 + 1 is 5 or 6 or whatever. Because you got 1, you add another 1, this makes 2. There's nothing you can do to change that. The only thing you can do is add or remove, but this 1 plus this 1 will always become a 2. When you invest, remember we spoke a while ago, the most powerful weapon ever here. Nothing and no one. No thoughts, no opinions, no ideas, no concepts, or fake news, or posts, or influencers, or TikTok, or Instagram, or X, formerly known as Twitter, whatever, the book in the face, you name it, YouTube video, will be able to influence you, or chat, or conversation, or news, whatever will be able to influence you. Do your research. In history, I remember we would have what we call the primary source and the secondary source. The primary is much more powerful because it is someone who was there, someone who actually witnessed that. It's kind of like me telling you there was an explosion and 5 people died and this and that happened. And then you ask me, where did you hear about it? No, I heard it from a friend who had a friend whose cousin's brother's sister's uncle's brother's nephew was there. How credible is that source? 0. Not at all. You're going to be like, that's not a credible source. But if I say to you, I was there, I witnessed it. Whoa, wait, what? What happened? How was the sound? How was this and that? Because now it's a credible source. It's a primary source. Do your research and everything. I'm not saying be skeptical with what everybody says, please, because then you're suspicious about everything. That becomes a bit annoying. But what I'm trying to say to you is be the kind of person who does not digest everything people throw at you, but listen first, do your research, and expand your knowledge, your wisdom, because then you will be making yourself a much more powerful person, because you will be making yourself, or rather you will be empowering the most powerful tool. The tool is already powerful, but it always needs that system update and upgrade, and software upgrade and update, both of them. It needs to be improved, it needs to be used. And interesting thing about the mind is that the more you use it, the more powerful it becomes. Remember this, the more you use your mind, the more powerful it becomes. All right, fam. That's what I wanted to share with you. So tonight, when you watch the news, ask yourself, is this really it? I'm not saying what they're saying is a lie, but what I'm saying is other sources. What do the other sources say? What proof do I have that this is it? Sometimes it's a single source, one place that you Googled told you this, or a link somebody told you, sent you and shows you this video or tells you that. And be careful, by the way, because today we have AI generated pics and AI generated videos, which I can take a video of you, or you can take a video of me, please don't do that, and make people believe that I'm doing something I never did, or make people believe that you did something you never did. So today we need to be very, very cautious. How do we overcome this? How are we careful with this when we work on this? Then we will always be able to be cautious. And, it's kind of like those scammers, those SMSs, those messages, or those phone calls where people say that they want to give you money of R1 million, and be like, oh, I've got an offer for you. and they send you those WhatsApp messages and they say, hi, dear. I don't know why they like saying dear, but anyways. And they want to tell you to do this and do that and do the survey and blah, 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 because we want to send you money, like, you know, just like that. Since when do people just want to give me money like that? Oh, you're not going to fall for that, are you? So do your research. Empower this. You empower this. You won't be easily influenced, and you won't be easily deceived. There are cases where we might be deceived. There are cases where somebody can really manipulate a situation and make themselves look innocent when they're guilty, or sometimes they can be manipulated to the sense where they look guilty when in actual fact they are not guilty at all, but they're innocent. What do? That will change everything. You got me? That's what's up, fam. This coming Sunday, we're going to all be together at the grounds for our last mega hangout of the year. This one's going to be special. It's going to be real special. It's going to be real special. We've got something, you know, on the line, something special for all of you guys. All right. But Saturday, we will be back for the Vibe O'Clock. Past Saturday was an amazing Saturday where we had 2 weddings. You guys probably saw the post already. And it was just beautiful. It was just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Something special, something really memorable, something we will cherish and never forget. The victory of our YPG fam is the victory for everyone, together as one. That's what's up. I'm also waiting for you guys to give us the 2025 shout out. We are still on the take off last year to another level. Previous year, the YPGs got too much sauce. What are you going to be giving us for 2025? Do you have anything? The shout out must have a gesture. The shout out must have a word and a question before that word. Just like now. What time is it? You know, it's that time. It's time for us to take off. We out of here. The salute is mine. The salute is mine. When I go, the salute, that's not allowed. Y'all can't be jacking my salute. Take care of yourselves. We out of here.